Can't believe it.
You're right.
I just saw something that stunned me, genuinely, right before coming live.
What's the matter?
Robbie Nielsen gave us credit. Robbie Nielsen gave us
alright.
credit.
He's alright, everybody.
Robbie
He's fine.
Nielsen, the Hearts manager, Robbie Nielsen, gave Celtic credit after today's. Can you believe it?
I'm in disbelief. I had to check. Wasn't it a 2-source rule? It was a 5-source rule, what I heard. But yeah, I can't quite believe that he's actually said something magnanimous about us. Fair play to Robbie Nielsen. Didn't think I'd be saying that ever.
I don't think he blamed anything either.
And why? I mean, he's only got himself to blame,
I know,
so that's never going to happen, is it? But are you all right? Can you continue?
I think I'm all right, everyone. I think we've managed to get all right. Can you hear us okay? We did have a wee bit of kind of technical issues. That's why we're a few minutes late. We are in the wonderful Babbity Bowster, probably the finest establishment in Glasgow, maybe other than Celtic Park.
I've never get any bad words to say about it, Hamish.
Great place. What about bad words to say about that? What we saw from Celtic this afternoon?
Because
Because
just starting that angle, bad words to say.
no, I'm teeing it up for you to say nothing bad to say. So go on.
Nothing bad to say.
Which is a first.
Celtic were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That was like, you know, it's the second toughest place for us to go other than Ibrox. We've never had it easy there under Ange until today, and at times, you know, Hearts were going to have spells in the game where they put us under pressure, and we had to rely on, you know, Joe Hart in defence to be big and strong in the wear. But I thought Celtic, you know, man for man, all over the pitch were brilliant. They got their goals at really important times that we talked about before we came live here. We thoroughly deserved to be in the semi-final. That's us reached that semi-final in every domestic competition under Ange as well. Another trip to Hampden. No complaints whatsoever today. Celtic just bossed that, start to finish, total control. And as I said to you, it's probably the closest away performance I can think of. That was like the Dundee United game last December. Or no, a couple of Decembers ago. Remember when Rogic scored that goal? But it was a very similar performance to that. We just never looked in a lot of bother. And as I say, the whole 90 minutes there, the manager got the team spot on. The players, their attitude was excellent. And this just sent everybody happy, including myself. So, job done.
It is amazing. I mean, you're going high bar for that, but I thought, listen, today's not the day to have a go at you for that. I thought Celtic were brilliant today. This legend right here got all 11 players correct in the predicted 11, which was no mean feat given that Haksabanovic came in, given that Johnston and Taylor came back into the reckoning, Hatate came back in from the start. I think it was a team that really excited Celtic fans, you know, just based on, you know, various social media apps. When that team came out, people were generally really, you know, excited about seeing the team. I think especially that front three of Jota, Kyogo to a lesser extent, and Haksabanovic, just given that those two wingers that I mentioned there are the real creative wingers we have. I think they're different to Abada and Maida, and I think we've wanted to see the two of them in the same team, and I really felt it meant that we had options on both sides today. That's not to have a go at Abada and Maida in any way. Listen, Maida's been one of our best players over the last few months, but I thought it was different today. We had real creativity all over the pitch, and I think it showed. I mean, the way we started that game was brilliant. Stevie missed you were still getting the drinks in for that opening goal.
I was like, Muggins here was like, I was the last one at the pub, so I had to get the bevy in for everyone, as how the rules are in 67 Hail Towers. But no, I did see the goal. I saw it on the TV. But
but the thing was, like, we had chances before. I think the goal was less than 2 minutes, and Hatate had a shot before it. McGregor had a shot that went just over the bar. Like, the intensity and the tempo that we started that game at was incredible, and it was needed in an atmosphere like that.
It had to, though, because you know, we were expecting, going by the way the ticket sales were at Tynecastle, a maybe half empty Tynecastle or 3/4 full. In the end, it was a full house. They sold all their tickets, and it looked like a really, you know, it was a packed stadium, great to see for a start, and it looked like a really sort of loud atmosphere. It was a wee bit. It was probably going to get hostile if we didn't get control of that game. You know what their fans are like. But the way that we just started was phenomenal. Moy, the first 10 minutes, what a player. I'll get on to my Moy part in a wee minute, but Jota, the way he started as well, Johnston as well, two of them are brilliant down that right. We gave that boy Kingsley an utter nightmare. He was roasted. But I was really surprised that Moy started. It's nothing to do with the quality of Aaron Moy. I've talked him up all the time. It's just because I know he played like just over 80 minutes on Wednesday against Hearts, and I was thinking, is he maybe going to come on to impact the game? I thought maybe Matt O'Reilly or Awata would have been starting. And then, again, I wasn't before the game when Moy was starting. It's not as if I was having a a shot at the manager or that. I was happy because, again, the manager's earned that trust that we've put in him with these teams, and it just goes to show, like, when you saw that opening 10-15 minutes for Moy, he was brilliant, and the goal was just what a finish with him. But his overall play, the way that he just took the Hearts players out of the game just with one touch, magnificent.
I called the goal again. Another thing I called, Jota running down the right wing, and I was saying Moy's in his own, and cause I think Kyogo, it would have been, had attracted a lot of the Hearts' attention, and Moy just kind of waltzed into space. The ball from Jota is brilliant, but the finish from Moy on his weaker foot, it was a left-footed finish, wasn't it? First time, roof of the net. It was just like one of those goals that made you jump out off your seat. It was just kind of a finish you weren't really expecting. You were kind of thinking, is he going to try and side foot it low? But he smashed it past Sander Clark, and it was such a perfect start for us. I can't talk highly enough of the way we started that game. Hearts, if anything, going to Tynecastle, you're expecting the opposite. You're expecting them to come out and really take the game to us, especially in that atmosphere. But we just started so well. And,
You're right.
Jota down that right wing was brilliant.
You're right, and it isn't. I know it's a cliche to say Tynecastle's not an easy place to go, but you look at the results under the manager there. It's not. We've had to always scrape out a win. They've always been good for a goal against us as well, and today we just completely bossed that. It was a real statement win for that Celtic side, just from start to finish. The attitude was spot on, and even when we didn't get, I don't know if you want to talk about it later, that decision that we really should have. Don't know.
Maybe come on to it. We'll come on to it in a minute, because I have got it written down here. Hearts did have a spell in the game. I think we started the game, as we've talked about, really well. Had a good few chances. They were nowhere. I think you kept using the word control. You kept saying to me, this is just complete control of this game. But Hearts did, as we probably would all expect, come back into it. They're the third best team in the country. They've got some decent players. They had a couple of kind of interesting chances. The one in particular that I want to touch on is the Sibic shot, when he kind of chests it down and kind of dangles a foot at it, and it's going in. It's not right in the corner. If it had been, it was definitely going in. But it's low in the ground. And Joe Hart, for a guy that we heard is weak getting down to his left-hand side, he pulls off an incredible save. I mean, it's like a Fraser Forster type save, the way he gets down that low, strong wrist, and not only that, but he gets up, really quickly and batters the ball away for a corner. And by the way, I think he gets absolutely clattered, and I think it's potentially a booking. But we haven't, really got a good view of that. But it certainly, Hart was raging at the kind of late challenge going in. But just that save.
Big save as well, because if
I'm a Hart critic in Stevie here.
Aye, but it's constructive, because I know that I've always bigged him up when he's done well for us, but there's times this season he has annoyed me. But that was just a big save for us, like we were saying as well. That's probably his first real major save since the Kilmarnock semi-final as well, because he's not had a lot of doing games. But yeah, that was a brilliant save. It was probably the only time as well, that bit, when I think CCV get turned a wee bit easy. I mean, I'll come on to CCV. I've not stopped raving about the big guy. But yeah, I mean, I think Civic just gets that yard on him a bit too easy. But it was such a big save, and you knew Hearts were going to have these spells in the game, for set pieces especially. Don't think we defended it too well, but again, when we don't do that, and when we don't, 9 times out of 10 we will. But in that off chance that we don't, you're really looking for Joe Hart to make a save out of nothing. Concentration levels had to be spot on, Hamish, and it was a brilliant save for him. So well done to him.
I'm see, when I'm watching a game like that and I see a goalkeeper making a save like that, I don't get, I'm not in awe of footballers very often, but when I see a goalkeeper making a save like that, because if that was me in nets, I wouldn't even have the reaction speed to even realise I should dive for it, never mind to actually go down and save it. I know that's his profession. He's a footballer, he's a goalkeeper. That's what he kind of should be doing to an extent, but I can never get my head around these goalkeepers who are able to react that quickly to get down, because see, if he hadn't reacted that quickly, the ball would have been past him. And the fact he was able to get his body into a position and a strong arm out and save that, and as I keep repeating, not just doing that but getting up again and getting to the rebound, I thought that was a major moment in the game, because we're only 1-0 up at that stage. If they score, potentially go into half-time level, and who knows the way the game goes, but it was a massive moment. The issue that you did touch on, that I don't want to spend ages on at all, because listen, we've won 3-0, and I feel like every game we kind of have these types of decisions to talk about. But we should have had a penalty there. Alistair Johnson gets wiped out from Andy Halliday inside the box. The ball's crossed in. Halliday comes in late and takes him out. Anywhere else in the pitch, it's a penalty. It's a free kick. Why is it not a penalty? I mean, try and play devil's advocate here. Why has it not been given?
Well, here's the thing. On VAR, I believe, was William Collum. Now, it was him that was the referee. It was the exact foul that Azagiri did in 2018 at Pittodrie on an Aberdeen player in the game we won 4-3. Yeah. But it was the exact type of foul like that, and Willie Collum was the referee, and he gave a penalty for that. And again, you're like, okay, fair enough. That's going to happen if you make a late challenge in the box. But with that one we saw there right away, we were all screaming for it. It's a penalty. Willie Collum's there in the VAR room, and it wasn't even checked, I don't think. So surely it's the consistency, Hamish, that just winds me up.
The commentary team didn't even really touch on it.
No, and we were saying that now as well, that it's kind of it's turned into a bit of a joke in a way, isn't it, where it's just go to that stage with us now where we're just sort of laughing about it, going, they're not going to look, but then they don't, and we're not even that raging about it now, but it's so frustrating.
But like, it could have affected Celtic, and I think that's the big thing. It just didn't affect us.
The mentality we've got as a team.
Keep going. I mean, the second goal's magic.
Unreal.
Is that your favourite goal for today?
No, the third, just because of who scored it and because he is my man of the match today. What a performance, but what a finish. And Johnston, again, great display for him. Glad he was back in the team. It was just such a good ball in, but what a smart finish with Kyogo. And as you said, it big one from it was just a couple of minutes before it. We didn't get that penalty, and it was a stone wall. Let's not kid ourselves here. And then, 2 minutes later, we could have went and felt sorry for ourselves, and their Hearts might even get a bit of confidence from it, because we look at the last game against Hearts, that penalty we should have got, and then they went in level at half time, then they went on in the second half and scored. They would have been buoyed for that, no doubt about it. I think they got off with one, and then 2 minutes later, we just go and kill them with that second goal. Don't care what MD says. That is the one that ends the game, because you score right before half time.
Sorry, I mean, I thought you said game over at 1-0.
Well, I did in person.
A bit of bravado there.
No, I did in person. One of the big things was I did say before the game, first goal was going to do them here, because Hearts missing Shanklin, Snodgrass and Devlin not starting would have really hurt them. At the same time, if they did play, I think that Celtic team was going to body them anyway. Yeah. But the timing of that second goal was just so crucial. As soon as that goes in, Hamish, it's done completely.
Can we all just stop for a minute and just kind of realise how good Kyogo Furuhashi is? Because I feel like we kind of, maybe a little bit, speaking generally, take him for granted. Sometimes you see the goals he's scoring, and maybe a lot of them today certainly wasn't this, but maybe a lot of them aren't spectacular. But his record, he scores virtually every match he's playing at the moment, and his movement is incredible. And I had a feeling we were going to score today from some brilliant Kyogo movement after Ange's comments after the game on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The ball's great, but that improvised finish is just, that's like, it's brilliant. I was going to use another kind of phrase there that you can probably guess, but it was brilliant, and I just think the guy has taken his game on to such a good level. Is that 20?
Is it not 21? No, wait. 20 in the league, isn't it? In fact, no, I'm usually very good with my stats, but I don't know how many it is in all competitions. But it is over 20. Okay, there we go. I'll cover myself there, cover all bases in that one. But I feel it's such a mug, because I remember clearly watching the game with Hamish in the first game after the break when Kyogo missed that sitter up at Pittodrie, and I got wound up. I was saying you might need a spell out the team. I just made a complete and utter day to myself, because see, ever since that game at Pittodrie, he has been unbelievable for us. He's been a talisman. And honestly, alongside CCV, which we were talking about in the pub, it's a good wee argument we get into, actually. Well, not an argument, a debate.
Bring it up if you want.
We're just saying how I personally feel like the best signing Ange has made has been CCV. He's
most important,
whereas Hamish was saying it was Kyogo. And I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer there, really. Both of them are they complement each other. I mean, they've just brought the levels of the Celtic team up several gears. They've just been incredible.
I think the debate would be who could we kind of do without and still kind of do all right. And I think they're both just so important to us at opposite ends of the pitch. But yeah, brilliant. Half time, interesting sub. Kobayashi comes on. It took us a wee minute to work out who was going off, whether it was going to be CCV, Starfelt, or maybe Taylor and Kobayashi, and we know he can kind of play left back. It was Starfelt. We saw him after the game. Starfelt, this is, looked to be kind of moving gingerly to an extent, so he's clearly, taking some sort of a knock. I was not worried about Kobayashi because I think he's looked good so far, but I thought it was a big a big match to throw him into. He's played a couple of games. I think it was St Mirren and Morton, I want to say, both at Celtic Park in the space of a few days. Then we've not seen Kobayashi play for probably 5 or 6 weeks, and now he's thrown in, second half at Tynecastle. They're going to throw the lot at us, and I was just kind of intrigued to see how he got on. And I don't know about you, but I felt he passed that with flying colours. I really thought he was good.
Thought he was fine. I did say at half time when we saw him coming on, I know that I wouldn't say you were. That's out of order to say you were complaining. It was a slight concern.
Yeah.
But I did say, look, I think the manager would have learned a lot after that game at Ibrox when Juranovic got put on, and it was the wrong option, 100%. I don't think he'll make that type of mistake again. So when I did see Kobayashi get on for Starfelt, I had no concerns at all. Of course, the second goal did help too. But I think what I've seen for Kobayashi, he's so comfortable on the ball, distributes it really well, and it looks as if he can play alongside CCV.
He doesn't I agree, sorry. He doesn't mess around with the ball. That's what I like. He doesn't take more touches than he needs to. Even if sometimes if a player like Hatate's got a guy kind of on his back, he'll play the pass because he believes in his teammates' ability to.
And a lot of that is just because Ange signs good footballers first and foremost.
And he'll be better for that as well.
Totally. Clean sheet.
You can play at home to St Mirren and Morton. I'm sorry, that's not really being a Celtic player. It's going to grounds like Tynecastle. How do you stand up? And I thought he looked really comfortable there. So.
No, I agree. I mean, as I say, Hamish, clean sheet there for him, and not easy circumstances to come into, because when you look at the levels, Starfelt's been performing that recently, and there have been all eyes on him. Even Hart would have probably saw that as a potential weakness. Didn't get anything by him, so good on him.
Before we move on to his centre-back partner, who was just immense, what did you make of the second half generally? Probably a kind of 50-50 game, but I always felt we had more threats going forward. We did have, off the top of my head, a Jota chance that was a decent save from the keeper, a couple of other ones as well. Did Hearts create much?
I actually can't remember. No, I don't think Hart had a save to make at all. I think they had a lot of the ball and they had some free kicks in dangerous areas, but I never felt threatened. And again, not a Hart back all the time, but the second goal was just huge. If it's 1-0, we're probably on edge any sort of time they're going forward, or any set piece to get, or any sort of challenge in the box and all that. Exactly on about there. But no, I think that the second goal was key there, and I think even Hearts and Robbie Nielsen would have knew it as well. That really killed them. I don't really think Celtic were playing within themselves, and I think if Hearts did get a goal or we were under pressure, I get the impression we would have up a few levels. I think we were playing in second gear for a lot of that second half, and we killed it completely with that goal at half time. But we got the third to put the icing in the cake. But second half in general, bit of a walk in the park, really.
Yeah. I mean, you need to keep reminding yourself, Hearts are a decent side. They're not a great side by any means, but in Scottish football standards, they're a decent side, and our visits to Tynecastle under Ange so far have been really difficult. Even the games we've won have been really testing matches. There was none of that really today. I felt it was generally quite a straightforward game, but it was a straightforward game because we were so solid and played so well. And most of that solidity for me comes from someone like Cameron Carter-Vickers, who is just immense. I'll give a shout out to my pal Stuart, who's probably watching this, who describes CCV very aptly, saying that if you were to drag him out a nightclub, you'd need about 8 bouncers, because it's so true, because he's just try and get that guy off the ball.
I'm not going to try him. He's not. Honestly, he's just brilliant. As I was saying, before he even scored the goal as well, I think there was so many points in that game where he just took the sting out of it, and he just gave us so much reassurance. And I think he was a big sort of presence for Kobayashi as well, because any time Kobayashi looked over to his right and he's got CCV just taking 2 Hearts players out of the game.
There's a comment saying that CCV moved slightly forward when Kobayashi came on and was kind of taking the game a wee bit more. I think that's a fair point.
He holds on to the ball a wee bit more as well, but again, it just takes the pressure off Kobayashi. It's good management, great game management for as well, because he knows obviously getting thrown into that type of atmosphere is no easy, and for him to take responsibility on the ball with Hearts players pressing him, it's no easy to do, especially in that wee tight compact pitch, and he just made it look so easy. The guy is honestly one of the best defenders I've seen at the club. He is brilliant, Hamish. I've raved about him all throughout that game. Just any time, off the ball, on the ball, he did everything right, but he's been doing that now, I'd say, pretty much on his, last season when he was there on loan, since we signed him permanently. Everything he does so well. He makes it look so easy to the point where you're expecting, I would say, with CCV minimum, it's an 8 out of 10 performance. I was so happy to see him score because it was long overdue. I think that was his first goal, was pointed out since Ibrox.
Yep.
Memorable as well.
He scored big goals for us. He scored at Easter Road. Remember, he scored that kind of big goal
St
against
Mirren.
Ross County at home, St Mirren at home. Big goals in big games, and we're still going through today without him, I think it's fair to say. But that was a big goal, and a point you made, which was strangely a very good point from you. You were saying that we scored our goals today at really good times. Early on in the game, just before, literally kicked before half time, and just a kind of clincher with 10 minutes to go.
Aye, especially because Hearts were throwing everything at us. They made 3 subs, didn't they, in the last 15 minutes as well. So they get a extra burst of energy with the subs coming on. They would have maybe been thinking, well, Celtic are tiring, because the last throw of the dice, all we need is a goal, something here. And then in those last 10 minutes, we score that goal, and their fans just pour out the stadium. That was it, completely done.
Yeah.
And it was no more than CCV deserved. It was my man in the match by a country mile. Best player in the park. And most weeks he's up there as the top 3 performers as well, Hamish. Great signing, honestly.
Yeah. I'd agree. I mean, CCV for me, even without the goal, was man of the match, but it could have been loads of other players as well in terms of performance. I mean, Alistair Johnson today was immense. I mean, you talk about getting stuck in, but having quality on the ball as well. He is just getting better and better, which is so exciting to see. Rayo Hatate is just like a dream to watch. I mean, like, everyone just sit back and enjoy watching him play for Celtic, because he is so good. The way he moves his hips when he's got the ball and angles away from players and never panics regardless of where he is on the pitch. A joy to watch. Aaron Moy was brilliant as well today. Callum McGregor just does what Callum McGregor does, and I didn't mean to do that there. But he, sorry, wee bit of David Martindale coming over me there. Jota, I thought was good, really lively as well. And Haksabanovic, I thought was good as well. And, most of the subs came on. So, good job. Anything else in the game today before we move on to general chat before we go?
There's nothing really that stands out, and other than, again, Adam Moy is just defying everybody week upon week. From, you expect this guy to be knackered and, puffed out. Anything but at times on that park as well. He was just looking like the fittest midfielder there.
Yeah. Honestly,
star. He's such a star.
He has this one in for Fraser Nicholson, just reminding us all, as if we needed reminding, that CCV was signed minutes before the deadline in the summer of 2021. Imagine we hadn't signed him.
Well, we know support him. I'm all right in saying we were maybe meant to get another boy for Spurs. We
There
got
was a
CCV.
guy,
There wasn't there?
I can't remember his name. I know
Was it under Ange or was it before that?
That was under previous season. I think he was a right back. I can't remember his name now, but he was a right back. I think he had a double-barreled name, but I could be wrong.
I genuinely can't imagine the Celtic team without him. I really can. He's such like a crucial core of that spine, man. He really is. It's unthinkable.
Yeah. What about this from Charles Sweeney, leading us on to our final point for the video? Getting mighty close to a treble. So this is where we're at the moment. We are League Cup winners. We have that in the bag. We're 9 points clear in the Premiership, looking, overwhelming favourites to win that. Wee bit of work to be done, but, Scottish Cup wise, we're now into the semi-finals. We have Inverness as fellow semi-finalists. They're the other team so far that have booked their place. They beat Killie last night. We have Rangers versus Wraith tomorrow, and we have Falkirk versus Ayr United on Monday. So it's going to be Inverness, Celtic, probably Rangers, and one of Falkirk, League One Falkirk or Championship Ayr. So you've got probably, again, I think it's fair to say Rangers will probably beat Wraith tomorrow. Ourselves, Rangers, Inverness and Falkirk or Ayr. 2 really kind of big teams and 2 pretty small teams. It's a bizarre setup. We're probably going to have to beat Rangers to win the Scottish Cup, possibly win the treble. Where do you want it? Do you want it semi-final? Do you want it final? Before I ask you, we'll open it up to everyone else. What are you thinking? If it is going to be Rangers to win the Scottish Cup, you want it in the semi or the final, Stevie?
Semi-final. Because that final...
It's because your nerves couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it, that final. That was too stressful to enjoy. I mean, obviously I did enjoy it. You saw that after the game when I met you, but that the stakes in that final were just so high, and it was too tense to enjoy. I would rather the semi-final this time, so that if we do get to the final, without being disrespectful to
Don't be disrespectful.
All right, Brendan. Without being disrespectful, of course, still another game to win. It wouldn't be anywhere near as tense. It'd be like, that Dunfermline final in 2004.
Yeah.
The Larson one, when we could sort of relax a wee bit.
Do you know what I mean? Do you not want the big climax, the Celtic v Rangers final for us going for the treble rather than...
No, I don't. I'm just being honest. I don't. I wouldn't be able to handle it, but I'm maybe being the minority here just because I
You
can't
are in the
handle
minority.
it.
Oh no, we've got one there. Oh, a few people saying semi. TJ the Legend semi. Maguire on fire semi. Loopy saying final. Sam saying final. Joe Hamilton saying beating FC.
What's that mean?
Must be Rangers, I don't know.
Nah, semi-final for me. But
Right.
enjoy it. Regardless of who we get, have to be our best anyway. End of. That's a real answer for me there. But it's true, but I'd rather play Rangers in the semi-final. But look, we spoke last Sunday, didn't we, after St Mirren? This was a really big week for us. Season defining. We said, St Mirren was a big 3 points against Hearts as well. And then today, came through all three, we've won all three, and you can now realistically here start talking about the treble.
Well,
That's
of
it.
course you can.
I don't think you could have before today.
Today was a massive
Today
one.
was a real statement one, and it's just comfortable now to start saying we have that in our sights.
I mean, there is a possibility tomorrow that it's probably a kind of unlikely possibility. But if Wraith Rovers go to Ibrox and win, you're effectively kind of looking at beating lower league opposition to win the Scottish Cup. So it's we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. Monday's video we'll pick it up, and it's exciting, isn't it?
It's good times towards this. I mean, last season as well, we remember when we were towards like the March and all that, we beat Ross County, I think, around about this time, 4-0, didn't we? It was a real statement win for us. I felt like that today as well. We know how the rest of the season played out. If we could, we obviously won the double last season, but if we could go one better, it would just be so memorable, and it would go down in history, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, seeing this Ange team, seeing that manager lift a treble would be incredible. But a lot of football to be played before then. I'm not going to be naive and just say it's going to be easier. That.
We'll wait till the cameras are off and then we can start saying all that kind of stuff. Stevie, thank you once again. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and
thanks to the audience over there as well. We've got a bit of pressure on us.
We do indeed. We want a couple of unnamed people over there, so thanks to them for most importantly feeding through the Nielsen comments. So I repeat, everyone, if you missed the start of the video, Robbie Nielsen praised Celtic today. Right, we need to head, match of the day tonight, so we'll need to get down to London, but we'll chat to you very soon. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Take care, and hail.